God is already preparing a way for you, even in the presence of your enemies, that He's getting ready to set the table for you, that He is going to bless you. Make you the head, not the tail, the first, not the last, the lender and not the borrower. 7:13 is our time. Good morning to one and all commuters. Of course, as always, we keep you in mind. Our up-to-the-minute traffic will be coming your way shortly. Once again, to keep you abreast of traffic conditions, are constantly changing as people embark on and embrace the morning commute. I want to talk for just a few minutes about influences, if I could. This morning, our spiritual vitamin comes to us out of Proverbs 3:31. Proverbs 3:31. Do not envy the oppressor. Choose none of his ways. Do not envy the oppressor. Choose none of his ways. Don't be influenced by the wrong people. Don't be influenced by the wrong people. My beloved brothers and sisters, chapter 3 of Proverbs introduces to us a group of admonitions. Chapter 3 of Proverbs introduces to us a group of admonitions. Now, an admonition is simply advice or counsel or even cautioning against something. And in the process, it reveals to us 4 valuable virtues that will ensure a meaningful and productive life. First, there is punctuality in payments. Because anytime we make a promise to pay something, we should be prompt in paying it. In other words, he's saying, honor your obligations, because it speaks volumes about you and the integrity of your personality. If you make a promise, anytime you put your name on the line and say, I promise to pay, because that's really what you're doing. You're making a promise. When you sign a contract or an agreement, be punctual in payments. Many of us have been slothful because we try to hold on to that money as long as we can, even to the point of enduring late payments. And late payments is not being a good steward with what God has given you, because you are giving away money unnecessarily. Be punctual in your payments. Second, the second virtue is being conscientious towards your friendships. In other words, don't take your friendships lightly. Those people that you bond with and that you are close to, don't take those relationships lightly. They are of great value to you and will benefit you in the long run. Third, having a peaceable spirit. Having a peaceable spirit means no matter what goes on around you or what happens to you, you can stay at peace in your spirit. And then freedom from bad influences. It is here we find the focus of our spiritual vitamin this morning. The author Solomon, now purported at a ripe old age, cautions against having fellowship with the wrong influences. I can relate to this wholeheartedly because being a product of the inner city, one of the things that was a challenge, a recurring challenge, was there were no visible signs of prosperity in the community except for those which were negative. And many of my friends allowed themselves, and even if I must be transparent and truthful, even I, for a period of time, found myself gravitating towards those influences because I allowed them to make an impression upon me. The writer says, don't allow yourself to be envious of those who act like they are doing well and doing them by questionable means. But not only is he cautioning against fellowship with the wrong influence, but he's also cautioning against fellowship with the. But not only is he cautioning against fellowship with the wrong influences, but also he is cautioning not to be envious of their perceived success and prosperity. And that's a very, very, very key point, because most of us can relate to that. We can look around and we can see folk who are operating unscrupulously. We can see folk who are oppressive and who have no problem in ripping off or doing ill to their brothers and their sisters, being perceived as getting away or doing well. You can see them driving big cars because of the things that they're peddling in our communities. You can see them being able to live in the finest homes because even in corporate America they find ways to take advantage of people. But But the writer cautions us not to be envious of their perceived success. And the reason is because of their oppressive nature, because of the nature of their personalities, they are subjecting themselves to a curse. We, conversely, because of our relationship with the divine nature of God, we must understand that at the end of the day, we win. At the end of the day, we win. Those who prosper temporarily have no long-term value. I can remember very vividly when I went in the military. Came home and I was making in the military about $470, $480 a month. That's what I was making, $480 a month. And I was with two associates shooting some pool. And they were laughing, one of which was involved in some illegal activity. And I knew he was involved in some illegal activity, but I just kept my distance from him. We were shooting pool, and while we were shooting pool, he made fun of the fact that you make $470-some a month. I can make that in less than an hour. And, you know, they started high-fiving each other as if to ridicule or put me down. But I was okay. I was okay with it. I was at peace with that because I knew that in the long run, what I was doing was going to be more beneficial. Fast forward, by the time I finished and completed my tour in the military, one was in jail for trafficking on a federal charge. The other had been inadvertently shot in the face because he walked in on a robbery. Although at the time, it appeared that they were more prosperous and successful than I. In the long run, they failed to understand that God's curses are always directed toward the wicked and his blessings towards the righteous. So I want to encourage you today, not only for yourself, but also for because this was Solomon talking to his children, young people. It's time for us to realize the importance of the sound advice that we can give to our young people. Yes, sometimes they don't listen. Sometimes they act like they don't want to hear it. But rest assured, if you plant the seed, eventually there will come a time in their lives, it will come back and it will remind them of where they need to be and what kind of influences they need in their lives. Don't allow yourself to be influenced by the wrong people, because only what you do for Christ will last. Even though Solomon was speaking to those of his day, purportedly even his children, he speaks to us very loudly today. Beware of the people that you associate with and who you allow to influence you. Heaven, good morning, caller.